Hey class, Brian Hetzer here. So the primary takeaway for me so far has been out of our Principles of Management textbook, particularly chapter 5, a small little section there where they discussed value disciplines. And it really jumped out at me. In fact, so much so that I actually wrote it down on a 3x5 card and took it into my work just for reference, because I think it's just really a powerful overview of leadership. And so it just basically listed three principles. One of them, the first one being operational excellence, product leadership, and customer intimacy. So I think it was just those three bullet points really encompassed big picture, all the different areas of an organization, whether it's a business or nonprofit, and how it relates to its customers, the community, the environment, its team, the product or services that it provides, and so those three bullet points really encompassed all of it. So, particularly for the operational excellence, really having to do with how the organization is developed, how it's run, both from a customer's perspective and also from the team's perspective, and developing that in a healthy manner. The second one, the product leadership, is whether it's a tangible product or the service that's being provided. Is it being done in the best way possible? Is the product being produced, being provided for the customers? For the customer's benefit, the best way it can, or is the service being provided for the customer in really what the customer needs and wants? And then the customer intimacy, to me, that was probably the biggest bullet point that really jumped out at me. And I really never looked at customer relationships in terms of customer intimacy, but it really made a lot of sense. And I think particularly now with the whole COVID thing going on, that whole customer um, intimacy is so important because in really looking at new ways to be able to connect with people, because obviously the way that we've been doing it before, face to face, in that way is much more limited. And so coming up with new ways to really develop relationships with customers, I think has really pushed a lot of organizations and a lot of businesses to looking at how they develop those relationships from a different perspective. I think of even my own the Feed My Starving Children that I work for. We've had to do some things different. So we primarily, all of our work is primarily done by volunteers who come in and pack food. So we've been doing lots of phone calls. And I've been doing lots of phone calls myself, connecting with volunteers and just telling them that we're open and how that's working now with social distancing and all the sanitizing that we're doing, and inviting them to come back and explaining to them how we're still packing food, but we're doing a little bit differently, and really connecting with them on a personal level and seeing how we can be a best fit for what they want to do in terms of coming in and serving. So we're really looking at it from that intimacy level and just trying to connect with our customers, which for us, for Feed My Starving Children, are volunteers, and on a local level, and really connecting with them on a more intimate level, and really making sure that let them know that we're open and how can we serve them in that way. So just a great 3 points. And again, I took them to work just to remind myself and how important they are. So hopefully that helped. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.